Hey guys, Tia here. Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am participating in this August Raw Uncut challenge with another YouTuber I watch. And he's been challenging some of the YouTubers to just, get in here and make raw, uncut footage, and just talk and share what's going on with us, and just draw in like just conversations and find your audience. So I am a fragrance consultant, so most of my content on my page is regarding my Scentsy journey. I do post occasionally, stuff, personal stuff like my family and stuff like that, but not too often. Just, different little adventures I do. But my page is centered around my fragrance consulting business and anything else I care to share. So, all right. So I did not want to just jump in here and just start talking and start rambling. So I tried to figure out what is one of the hottest topics that I feel is interesting to talk about today. So in my journey throughout my social media today, I ran across someone who was sharing something they saw on the news. I know, the news, who watches that? But what they were referencing is some of the worst places to live in the United States. And I will say this. I am prior military. I'm a military veteran. So I have lived in multiple states. I've lived in multiple states. I've lived out of the country. I have seen a few things and done a few things. So my experience may not be your experience. My experience is that of a broader perspective. Some people who have never left their small little hometowns would not see things through my lens. So to be clear, this is Tia's perspective. This is from Tia's observation. But in retrospect, I am sharing what was shared on that blog that I saw earlier. So the 10 worst places to live in the United States. And I want you guys to share it where you don't have to really share where you live, but if you have a different perspective, or if you have something interesting to add to this conversation, drop down in the comments. Let's talk about it, because right now, one of the biggest things that everybody is struggling with is this economy. This economy is really difficult for a whole lot of us to live day to day. Regardless, even if you have a decent job, regardless, even if you have a little bit of money saved. I went to the grocery store today, and I will say that I have never seen bacon cost $10. $10. And everything, pretty much every single thing was inflated. Every single thing I purchased seemed like it was just a little bit more expensive. And I started to say, I wonder if prices are hiked up the beginning of the month, because genuinely people shop the beginning of the month. Some of the elders get some of their Social Security, their pensions. So prices, are they inflating these prices at the beginning of the month? So after I had that epiphany while I was in the store, I saw this video, and number 10 on this gentleman's list from, he pulled it from the news that a news channel that he mentioned. And number 10 was Arkansas. So I have a good close friend that lives in Arkansas, and I will say, one thing that I've noticed about Arkansas is probably the cost of living seems to be relatively moderate I don't live there. I've never lived there. But based on what I have seen in home prices that I've seen, it seems to be a place where, it's Midwest. So it really, or I guess it would be considered Midwest. So the cost of living is fairly decent. But they said that there are a lot of food deserts and high crime. So it came in number 10 on the list, which is sad. It's a red state, so I live in a blue state. We used to have a red governor. Now we have a Democratic governor. And I will say that I prefer to live here. Just my preference based on things that are important to me, things that I need in my life to make my quality of living fair, decent, and comfortable. So yeah, that's just my perspective. Back to it. Number 9 was Oklahoma, and I think it was the minimum wage in Oklahoma that was the issue, because for whatever reason, this federal minimum wage at $7.25, some states are really paying people $7.25 an hour in this economy, and I just don't get it. I don't care if you are waiting tables and getting tips every night. $7.25 is poverty, below poverty. That's slavery wages. They say slaves didn't get paid. Well, if they were to get paid, they would get $7.25 because it's so low. It's almost non-existing at this point to pay somebody $7.25 an hour. Number 8 was Alabama. Oh, and we know Oklahoma is another red state. Number 8 was Alabama. Alabama came in mainly because of a lot of discrimination that is noted. These red states, they have been that's been a thorn in everybody's side, is the discrimination piece for these red states, especially those ones that are deep down south. So I have to pray for them, because I have some people that are very close to me that I love very dearly that live in Alabama, and I just wish them the best and pray for them. And they're fine, but given the list and given the conversation that we're currently having, I want my peeps to be okay. Number 7 is Missouri, and they said that it has high violent crimes and a lot of firearms. St. Louis, we all know, we all hear about the crime in St. Louis, Missouri. So they came in number 7. Number 6 was Utah, and the issue was their economy and the health crisis as far as health care for citizens in the state, and just the overall wellness of the people in the state. So they came in at number 6, another red state. All red states I've mentioned so far. Number 5 is Georgia, and I think Georgia came down to workers' rights. A lot of the workers' rights are not fair. They're not treated. They're treated unfairly in the work and the with the compensation and stuff like that. So they came in at number 5, which is Georgia's another red state. 4, I got Louisiana. Louisiana came in as number 4, mainly because of the high violence, the high crime in that state. Another red state. Number 3 is Indiana, and the high cost of childcare. They said childcare is ridiculous and through the roof. So people are paying way too much to have their children taken care of while they're just while they're just trying to make it through the day to have a job that can pay a livable wage. Red states, all red states that I've stated. Number 2 is Texas. Texas has the health care is low, and a lot of people are uninsured. And Texas, depending on where you live, Your situations could be different. I know some people that live in Texas and they live in an area where it's pretty diverse, and the laws, of course, may be managed by, the governor, because he is a Republican. But because of the resources and the congressmen, the congresswomen that are it can balance things out a little bit. So Texas came in at number 2, red state. And number 1 is Tennessee. Tennessee came in number 1 because of the violence, the drugs, and the hostility towards the LGBT community. And it's really, really sad that, a lot of these things that I mentioned are things that really, really can be controlled through having political figures that are really trying to drive home and take care of their constituents in their communities. It feels like there's been a shift in the dynamics of the country, and people are so comfortable showing so much hate and so much hatred towards each other. There are national situations that are going on in the country that we are seeing it firsthand. It's a really sad world when someone can lose their teenage son tragically and get harassed and cyberbullied because of it, because they're asking for questions. They're asking questions, trying to get answers to the situation. So I live in a blue state, as I've already mentioned, and I will say that I moved here from a red state, and I felt the difference. I felt the shift in difference when I moved here. And I will not say that it's just different. It's just a different vibe here. And I am thankful that I was in the opportunity to, one, move here, all expenses paid due to my service in the military. And 2, I live fairly close to my mom. My mom is, going through some things, and I'm close enough to be able to put hands on her if I need to, and be there for her. So I'm appreciative of the position that the Lord has placed me in. I know that crime and healthcare and the economy are on the forefront of 99% of our lives. So I just pray that anyone listening to under the sound of my voice is able to find a way to get through these difficult times, even if you're living in any of these states that I've mentioned. I just pray that you're able to find your peace and find your way to get through it all, even if you are dealing with any of these tragedies that I have mentioned as to why these states have been listed as places the worst places to live in the United States. And everybody's situation is different and their experience is different. So someone else may say Tennessee is their number 1 place to live based on their experience and what they went through in life. I'm just giving it to you raw and uncut that was shared online, because life is full of opportunities and everybody's experience is totally different. So getting here, I'm just sparking conversation and being extremely vulnerable, because this is not what my page is about, but I do want to branch off and share. I love my niche on my channel, but I also love being able to find an audience that I can just talk with and vibe with and connect in different themes of life, and be able to show conversational angles and give my perspective. So if you made it this far, please subscribe to my channel. I would definitely appreciate having additional members so we can like each other's channels and subscribe to each other's channels and share each other's pages. So get in here. Let's talk about it. That's all I have for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tia Hen, Divine Aromas. Cincy.